What is happening, guys? I'm finally making a video on my book, Hidden in Plain Sight, Self-Encrypting Your Bitcoin by the one and only myself, Cody Murdoch. So today, this short video is going to be kind of explaining a little bit about what the concept is, the book, and why I actually made it. I got into Bitcoin kind of early on for a transaction of payment. I never cared to quite learn how to use it and so forth. And then I started researching a little bit. Really got me down kind of the conspiracy theory hole and, just kind of like the rabbit hole. And I'm a very kind of paranoid, person. I've always kind of been a little bit more paranoid. And when I first wrote down, I actually took Bitcoin into self custody in 2017. I took a little bit and I tried to make wallets. And the first wallets I actually made weren't even Bitcoin wallets, they were actually Ethereum wallets to trade shitcoins, as some people say. But as I wrote down actually 24 words, I really didn't know what to do with them. And I really understood that anybody can just take my money if they just have these words written down. What's the point of like storing it under my bed when people could just take all my wealth that's in a digital, realm? Like I didn't quite feel safe about that. So I figured like there has to be a better way to just store your words. What happens if my house burns down? Well, we have metal plate cards for that. And what happens if, somebody steals that? Like I just didn't feel quite safe. I never felt safe with seed phrases. And so, being a very paranoid individual as myself, I started thinking of ways of how to basically encrypt these words myself. And so, from a very early time, I started doing a form of self encryption. And I started encrypting it, and I started just developing different methods, different ideas on how to just basically take those 12 words and just basically hide them in plain sight, or make them not readable or not in order. So somebody just looks at it and says, "Oh, that's Bitcoin," or "Oh, that's crypto." People look at it and be like, "What the hell is this? It's just a letter, or it's just an essay, it's just a paragraph." So I've always started to do that. And as I started getting a little bit more relevant in the crypto world, I went to some conferences, kind of talking to people online. Nobody talks about what they do with their seed phrase. Nobody talks about it. Something that's kind of hidden. You just don't talk about it. And so I think the most important thing, and I hope some people are watching this video that are influencers, that have an influence on Twitter, you should always be talking about the need for security of seed phrases and storing your seed phrases correctly, because this does one of two things. One, it's going to protect your communities. Your communities are going to get hacked less, they're going to have better education on, and it's not just simply my method of self encryption, or doing anything with the seed phrases. Two things happen when people first make their wallet. One, they just don't care. They just write it down, put on a post-it note, or they put it in their notes, or they put it somewhere, and they just kind of forget about it. They don't quite care too much. And then you have the other people that, care. They're very more organized. They write it down, they put it somewhere, or they kind of try to split it up, or they put a copy at somebody else's house. But that's normally it, right? Uh, it's not too often people go above and beyond and actually buy those metal cards, or those seed cards, or I mean, many people buy, the hardware wallets and stuff like that. But again, with hardware wallets, they're backed up by what? They're backed up by seed phrases, right? So the backup of the hardware wallet is a seed phrase. The backup of most wallets are seed phrases, and that's exactly what we're talking about. So there's a huge need for influencers to continuously talk about seed phrase security, seed phrase management, and so forth. It's crucial because it's going to protect the communities so they get hacked less. And if less people get hacked, the more they're going to want to stick around, the more they're going to want to invest, the more they're going to want to listen to your influence and buy whatever you might be selling and so forth. This concept of self encryption that I wrote is very simple. It's just take your 12 words and manipulate them, right? Put them in a word search, put them in some type of reading list or some type of word list. If you have kids, it's so easy to just get their homework, get some ideas, and just put this in there. These pictures can represent words to just get you to memorize things. And the biggest form, the most number one form of self encryption is simply just memorizing your 12 words. That is self encrypting your keys, right? It's just a concept of self encryption, which nobody in the world can get access to that your 12 words unless they get it out of your brain somehow. They got to encrypt your self encryption to get those those words in correct order. And so it's very difficult to memorize 12 words. It is extremely difficult. Now, you can absolutely use many techniques to memorize stuff, which one of them is visual memory. So you could have all your words right in here, and that visual is going to be like, oh, this guy running right here. I don't know if you could see my mouse or not, but this guy running right here, next to adult, it can mean adult, it can mean man, it can mean run, it can mean running, it can mean jog, it can mean blue for his blue suit, it can mean shoes, it can mean anything to me. And to you, it could give you a whole sorts of ideas. It can mean other words that you may think of as well. But when I'm trying to memorize my 12 words and I see that, I know exactly what that is because it's super easy to remember. Now, if I just memorize 12 words and I don't have that visual memory, I don't have that visual thing, I might lose access to my 12 words. And if you mix one word up in your seed phrase, you're screwed, right? It's very difficult to memorize just 12 words. So using visual memory can absolutely help you back up your backups if you need to, if you're one of those people that just want to um, memorize your words. And it doesn't have to be that difficult, right? It could be so much more easier than memorizing 12 words. You can memorize just a single column, in this winter word list. You could just memorize this whole column. Oh, it's in closed column and it's backwards from up to down. That's all I got to remember. And now I have this hanging out on my coffee table and there's Bitcoin on it. And nobody's even going to know it. Obviously, there's Bitcoin. You don't have to put Bitcoin on it and make it more obvious. And you never really want to have the address attached to it. You should keep your address maybe somewhere separate. That way you can continuously send Bitcoin into it if this is your vault or cold storage. But not necessarily. But it's just self encryption is one or two things. Either one, making things much more easy to memorize, leaving your words out there, feeling protected about it. If somebody gets a hold of your house, and that was another reason why I was thinking about this. Why do people kind of just don't take their safety of these seed phrases, um, better care of them? Why? Well, one, they don't know what to do with them, right? They know they have to be in order. They're kind of following rules. They're kind of following directions. They're not really thinking out of the box. They don't feel unsafe. They're not paranoid like me. And then they leave it, in a safe, or their house gets broken into. And what's the first thing that's going to get stolen? Is that safe, right? What's the point of having your seed phrase on a desk and you just got it, sitting there on your desk? Somebody could easily just grab a hold of it. People are going to start looking for those things and seeing 12 words on a post-it note or a piece of paper, and they know that they should just take it. Why not just grab it? We'll see if it got Bitcoin on it, in another day, and so forth. So it's a way for people to store their seed phrases out in the open, more comfort in their home, more safe in their safe, and they don't have to worry about if somebody breaks into their house. And here's another thing: most people give like, okay, what if my house burns down? Even some of these, metal cards. What if my house burns down? I might not get to it. What if there's a hurricane and I can't access that? What if I get kidnapped? What if I'm stuck in another country somewhere? These are all things that, a lot of people leave backups with family or in a second location. Well, if you're not at that location, how do you know people have not got access to it? You may never know your crypto funds got, jacked from you for until months later. You come back to it like, yo, what the hell happened? When did somebody get access to my seed phrase? It was in this location. Well, you can leave these things and you can know that, nobody's going to be able to access them. I mean, these puzzles are pretty difficult to solve, which none of them have been solved yet. Um, but they're pretty difficult to solve. And if you want to solve these puzzles right here, each have Bitcoin on them. So That's pretty interesting about the book. There's these puzzles in the book and also on my website where you can solve. And I actually um, try to figure out the seed phrases to these, and you can earn yourself some Bitcoin. But let's talk about more of the book. So it's just a simple concept to make things more easier to remember. You can simply create a concept where you can just look at this and be like, that's my seed phrase. Or you can make it really more difficult. You can make it more scatterized and have like a more scramble word. This is a word scramble template. You can numerize it, and then you can just have numbers written down. Like I could have numbers written down on my whiteboard right here, and people are just going to see numbers. They have no idea what it means. I have no idea those numbers on the board or those numbers on my online profile, those numbers somewhere I got stored in my notes or wherever it is, correlates to my actual seed phrase that is on the Bitcoin blockchain or under my desk or in my safe or so forth, right? So you don't even can make it, you can make it so much more difficult than that, where you can create a second layer where I'm not just looking at the puzzle and knowing what my seed phrase is. I actually need some type of encryption to get those seed phrases out of the puzzle. And then you can even make it even more advanced like that, maybe, it's crazy, where you could take this encryption that unlocks this and you can encrypt that. And this is where this whole book is. This book just gives you tons of ideas on different things, and it's who knows what you're going to come up with. Who knows where you're going to decide or understand how to hide, seed phrases. Where there's one idea I came across where I didn't put in the book, but it's such a simple concept where um, somebody's a songwriter and they actually wrote their seed phrase in a song where if they listen to the song, they know the lyrics of which word is where. And all they have to do is listen to a song and sit there, and it might take a couple tries, but they'll write their seed phrase down, and it's just audio memory to them, which is it's a great concept and it's perfect. Where if I heard the song, if anybody else heard the song, good luck trying to think that there's even crypto in a song, right? You'd be thinking about something else, trying to listen. But there's so many different ways, and that's what this book is. This book is simply to give you the understanding of how this kind of works, how seed phrases work as it is, and just utilizing the same method. How do seed phrases work? There's 2,048 words, and you scramble them all together, and it makes way too many possibilities for anybody to hack your stuff. So why can't you just mix together a couple hundred words and do it yourself and have similar security, which, a lot of people don't like the word security, but it's just encryption to kind of hide things in plain sight. That way you feel a little bit more comfortable that nobody around you is, going to break into your house. When I'm on vacation, I'm not worried that somebody breaks into my house. What are they going to get? They're just going to get a puzzle? Good luck solving it, buddy. Like, I don't care if you take my puzzle. I got my puzzle posted online. Anybody can have it. It's posted online. Like, come and get it. It's too difficult to solve. And I'm comfortable having my puzzles stored online, which, again, if somebody's going to first have to hack into it and so forth in order to get it. And now I can travel the world and I could be in a different country and something, World War II happens, a hurricane happens, and everything in my existence that I've ever known, because I've only lived in really one city the past so forth in my life is gone because a nuclear bomb hits it. Well, guess what? I'm not stuck with all my wealth in one place, and I'm not even traveling with a physical device. I don't even have to carry anything. Um, why? Because again, I have my seed phrases backed up online. All I gotta get access to is my cloud or Twitter or whatever it is, wherever I have it. And now I can access my stuff by having that puzzle. And so it just opens the doors to so many different possibilities on what to do with your seed phrase and how you can actually store crypto or Bitcoin in general. And I think it's so amazing. And first time, I always say this, in the first time in human history, we can store value with our brain. We can store value with just information in our brain. And it's pretty insane where I can store value. I can have Bitcoin memorizing just words, which is a pretty cool concept, which most people are aware of. And here's the coolest thing about it is back in history, we always heard and understand of people burying gold in physical locations. I could go bury some physical gold in my backyard. And I've always wondered, and this is another reason why I developed this concept, is because I wanted to store Bitcoin on or online. And I know my roots. My grandfather was a collector. He collected things. How do I know he didn't bury gold all over his properties that he lived in? How do I know that? I can't know that. I don't even have access to it, right? I'm hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away to it. So I don't know. I would have to spend probably more money than I probably would find in order to even achieve it, get the permits and get approvals and all that stuff. So how do I know he didn't bury gold? Where the cool thing is now is I'm burying Bitcoin online. If you follow me, I have Bitcoin on Twitter. It's actually that puzzle that's on Twitter on my pinned Twitter page is actually inscribed onto the Bitcoin blockchain with ordinals. So that puzzle will be on Bitcoin forever, as long as nodes are running and identifying ordinals, I will have access. Everybody will have access to that puzzle. Now, how is my grandchildren going to know that there's a puzzle stored on Bitcoin? I mean, who knows? I mean, I my hope with that is like 100 years down the road or 50 years down the road, people are literally like trying to treasure hunt the Bitcoin blockchain just to try to find my puzzles and stuff. So that's why I keep kind of inscribing them and doing these kind of things and just kind of leaving them out there. And to be funny, the honest thing, with these puzzles right here that are in my book and on my website, um, some people, just like, well, you're just gonna take it one day, and I don't have the the codes to unlock these. I completely randomized it. I have no idea where the words are. I look at these puzzles and I have no idea how to unlock it. I'm just like you. I look at this and I'm like, well, what the heck is this? What does this word mean? Is this a guy running? Is this like I don't know. Um, I made it too long ago. I had it in my mind. I wanted to forget it. I never memorized it. I didn't care to memorize it. And these puzzles are going to be in there for existence. And I'm inscribing them onto the Bitcoin blockchain, and they'll always be there. And so 50 years down the road, people will probably be hunting for some puzzles to try to unlock. And maybe Bitcoin might be, maybe $100 in Bitcoin today might be worth, who knows in 50 years, as they're still there, as they're still trying to get, solved. So, which would be hopefully computers might make seed phrases irrelevant, in history. Anyway, let's go back to the book. Um, this is the book. It's very simple. It's taking ownership of your seed phrases and doing a little bit more with them other than just storing 12 words on your phone or on your. And that's the thing is first off, we first need more education on what people should be doing with seed phrases. I wish I heard more influencers talking about it. I'm tired. I mean, I'm tired. I constantly hear people getting scammed, and you like think about, well, how did you get scammed? Well, I had my 12 words on my notes and my phone. Like, of course you got scammed. Oh, I got a phishing site and key logged me, and there's so many things that can be prevented and so forth with a little bit of management of seed phrases. And that's why I actually wrote the book. I'm giving this concept out. You can identify the concept for free just now, just looking at the website, understanding it. But the book is just ideas. It's just a book. It puts it all together. It's supposed to spark interest, get some ideas, and help you guys learn on, what the possibilities are holding value with just words. There's so many possibilities where you can do, and you could actually store them online safely, which is pretty cool. Let's talk about the books. These two are from Amazon. I got a paperback. They're pretty small books. You could read these in a few hours. People say, "Oh, why are they so expensive?" It's not that expensive. You could buy a metal card for your crypto seed word that gonna do absolutely nothing for you. It's a single point of failure. Your house burns down, good luck getting it. A hurricane comes, a flood comes, you might never get access to it, even if it's buried, whatever. They provide little security for your seed phrases, I feel. And most of those are 35, $40. So for the knowledge that's in here, for just the all put together, my time, everything, it's a good value. If you really want to get a copy, it's a little bit cheaper if you pay in Bitcoin on my website. I'll ship it to you. I got a PDF that you can get for the cheapest, paying with Bitcoin and so forth. But this is the paperback. It's on Amazon. The quality is pretty good. This is the paperback that's on Lulu. And you can see it's just a little bit, definitely smaller, different material. It's a little bit better quality. I don't quite like the smaller book because it is a workbook. I have these puzzles. These puzzles are in here, and I try to get you guys to kind of solve them. There's another puzzle on here that's in the website you could try to solve, and so forth. And I also have a hard copy. The hard copy, as you can kind of see, the it's not too bad. It's just a little bit different. Doesn't have that paper in front of it. It's a strict hard copy, there. And this quality decent. It's a little bit different size, but you can buy these two on Amazon. You can buy the smaller one on Lulu, which is a little bit better quality, I feel, but smaller. And you could also order a copy online. I have a PDF copy. Uh, the reason I did this book, I'm not trying to make $1 million off it. I'm not really trying to push it. I just want people to have another way to protect their Bitcoin and store it safely and not get it stolen and be able to pass on their wealth to their family and maybe have some fun. I mean, um, imagine being able to store value for your future generations to kind of have a treasure hunt on actual Bitcoin, which is pretty freaking cool. I feel like, and I'm sure there's other Bitcoiners out there that probably think that's pretty cool too. And I'm definitely available to reach out if you have any questions. Send me an email, hit me up on Twitter, go to my website. You can get a hold of me. Anyway, love y'all. Peace.